All right, everybody, welcome back to the next episode of
Educational
Educational
football.
Football. Today is going to be our first Champions League episode because, this week we had the first legs of the round of 16 matches. So, really excited. Jude, want to say a little something?
Dude, I'm excited for this one. All these games are bangers, especially, a lot of complaints recently about the Premier League and how a lot of games have been kind of slow, not as fun to watch. But this week, real football was brought back, so I'm hyped to get into it.
And we're going to talk about all that. Obviously, the other two members couldn't join, but that's okay. We'll make do without them, and let's move on. Let's just get right into it with the first match: Arsenal versus Leverkusen. Now we watched this one together. What are your initial thoughts on this game?
Initial thoughts, I think Leverkusen really were unlucky to not get the victory. I think honestly they were playing like the better side, right? I think Arsenal, frankly, are lucky to be going back to the Emirates 1-1. And I kind of just initially just you kind of got a feel for Leverkusen because we know Arsenal didn't play that well, but you do have to give them the benefit of the doubt going back to the Emirates on equal footing. So you kind
Definitely.
of look at it as like a missed opportunity from
Yeah.
Leverkusen.
I mean, we can go into all the details, but just on the outside, like Arsenal haven't gone down in a game since I think it's since the no, they went up
September, I'm pretty sure.
September,
It's
yeah,
been a
since
couple
September.
months.
So usually they score first and they might get equalized, but they will usually stay on top. So they were definitely in unfamiliar territory here, going down 1-0, especially being in Leverkusen's home stadium. I mean, those German fans are crazy. So like, and this isn't just another Premier League game or another Champions League game where you're already sitting at first in the group stage and it's not going to affect you. I mean, this is like do or die. So you felt like watching this game. I mean, Leverkusen played very well. They were really like the crowd got behind them and they pushed Arsenal, but you just felt like an absentee team in Arsenal. Like you didn't see any spark. This is not that didn't seem like the type of team that would be number one in Europe, leading the Premier League, leading the Champions League in multiple cup competitions. It's just it goes back to this same narrative that how good really is this team? Like honestly. And Leverkusen's not like some crazy European giant that you need to be afraid of.
For sure. I think it kind of showed Arsenal can be got out a little bit. And kind of to get into it a little bit, I think the only place to start really is with individual players, right? So I'm looking at first and foremost, I hate to say it, star boy Bukayo Saka.
God.
I don't even know what to say. The complete non-entity the whole game, hooked at 60 minutes. And it's not even like on an injury management thing. It's like the franchise boy wasn't doing enough in a do or die game. Nani Madueke came on, and in those 30 minutes, he looked like twice,
He
three
got
times the
them the
player
goal. He
Saka
got them the
was.
pen.
Exactly. He was driving in a lot more incisive, taking a lot more positive action. You look at Saka, and it's like, obviously, I don't think I'm ready to call him completely washed just yet.
Yeah.
You do have to take into account all the years of playing on his body, the wear
Right.
and tear and whatnot. Maybe his style of play, right? He hasn't always been like an incisive 1v1 winger,
Yeah.
but he's gone from being a provider and somewhat of a creator on the wing to just being a non factor kind of this whole season, really. And it's a little
I
bit
know.
disappointing to
And
see.
even the second half of last season, it's so sad to see. I mean, you want like Arsenal, we both support different clubs, but you want to see the best players doing the best things, especially somebody like Bukayo Saka, who's like such a cult hero for this team. And it's honestly sad. Some people speculate, injuries, his hamstring. Um, I guess that play style thing really seems to speak volumes to me. I mean, he is not the type of winger who's going to drive at you, do a step over, take a touch, and like curl it in. He is very much, get to the touch, like get the ball on the touchline, um, find a man, maybe cross that in, maybe get that open shot. I don't know, but it's pretty damning. And then you had Rice, their other main man, kind of just collecting the ball from back, dribbling up, a lot of running around. Nothing truly, valuable of much substance. And Arsenal again, I mean, you're watching them and you're just like, where's the man who's going to change the game, who's going to bring you this individual moment of brilliance? I mean, is it really Madueke off the bench? I mean, he's a great sub, I think, and that's an incredible player to have at your disposal, but that can't be like the man you live and die by. And, maybe it's because your defense is so good that this is the way it is, but that just showed to be kind of mute in this game.
Definitely. I mean, just one more thing on Saka. Like, I think last season it was right where their corners became really big weapons, and all this talk about him and Declan Rice sending the balls into the box. And say what you want about the corners. I'm not the biggest fan. It's not the most fun thing to watch, but I feel like one thing you could always give them was their delivery was on point, right? Whatever plays they run. But now you look at him, he's just kind of like crossing it, inshallah, right? It's not,
Yeah.
you don't see that same accuracy or anything. Declan Rice, I think, we saw him last year against Real Madrid, for example. He was kind of bossing it both
Yeah.
legs, right? So, I mean, you'd be a fool to say he's not a great player, right? But
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think something about him is something that a bunch of people have been talking about this week, kind of comparing the Prem to the other leagues. Like, he is one of the best players in the Prem this season, at least, correct? And
Definitely.
you kind of see him going up against European opposition, and you're not really getting much more so far other than hustle and bustle and collecting the ball and passing it off. And I feel like that's kind of maybe an indictment on just the way the Prem plays football
Yeah.
now.
No, no, I agree. And like we'll get into this like maybe towards the end when we want to make talk about this, but like I mean you're looking at these teams go up against European teams who play definitely more open. I mean, Barcelona, come on. PSG, fluid, open teams. They're not going to score goals and get all their production from jamming the 16-yard corner box and like getting a fluky goal from that. You have like real football going on. So it's not even that when we talk about like how a team is better, things get so skewed and it becomes ambiguous because a team like can have a better record by playing in such a weird way. And it honestly, I really thought about it like the past few days while these games were going on. And it's just like, how is a team who's all season been like competing by like in this aggressive shove type of way going to compete with a team like PSG, who's not having the best season, by the way, in their own respect. But how are you supposed to compete with this team who's playing completely different to every opposition you've played in such a fluid way that's like they don't want to fight you on the ball. They just want to like outplay you, and it's definitely something to take into consideration. But yeah, I mean, Arsenal tied 1-1. What do you think is going to happen at the Emirates?
I mean, you kind of got to give it to Arsenal, right? You saw, like, even playing like this, they didn't even lose. So, and we all know, honestly, like, we've seen Arsenal play better than this, right? So you got to give it to them, like, at home turf
Yeah,
advantage.
yeah,
Like, they're going to ramp
definitely.
it up a few levels.
Yeah, real
I
quickly.
think one thing that stuck out to me, which, I mean, at this point is beating a dead horse, but that Victor guy, yo, that is not a footballer. I swear, watching that game,
That's really bad.
he got the ball. There were like at least three times that he just passed it out of bounds.
It's
Like
it's honestly bad.
no
It's
hold
honestly
up,
a
nothing.
disservice. Imagine, it makes you think. Imagine if they got somebody, even like Sesko. I feel like is miles better. Imagine they got somebody like Alvarez. Imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sesko for one would be a great fit for this team, especially with how Arteta wants to play, and he has the tech to go along with it too. But
Yeah.
I think the fact that so many Arsenal fans this season have been crying out for Kai Havertz of all people to
Yeah.
return and save their season. When, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Kai Havertz.
Me
I'd
neither.
maybe even say I'm a hater of Kai Havertz, but it's hard to deny that he's not better than Gyökeres.
I
But the
know.
problem is that that's just not a high bar to
I
clear,
know.
right?
It was honestly kind of a crazy signing. I mean, he's 27 years old, and I don't know, like getting somebody of that age from a different league is definitely not like the most. It's pretty unorthodox. Like usually, you get players from the Portuguese league when they're young, they're talents, but somebody who's already distinguished, it's weird. So I don't know. But last thing I want to mention, that penalty. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's very, very soft penalty to give, right?
Yeah,
I mean, watching the replay, I kind of thought that Madueke Loki kicked out, right? Like he left his foot
yeah,
behind a little bit. But at the same time, once you do go down, like to the ground in the penalty box, you're giving the referee a decision to make,
definitely.
and you just can't put yourself in that position in the first
Yeah.
place.
I mean, I think you could see it both ways. I think the rules need to be, because like in a totally different game, you have 50-50 that gets called 50-50 it doesn't. You just need there needs to be a universal, like very specific rule that seems fair enough to implement that can like distinguish because it's just so, random. But
For
yeah,
real.
I guess we can move on to the next game, and this one you might be a little happy about. The Madrid show, absolutely schooling City, my
Loki,
team.
go back to Arsenal for 1 second.
Okay.
I think something that's a bit worrying, and I know we do see them at the top of the Premier League still. They are still in the FA Cup, Carabao Cup. They're looking like they're going to be able to go far in the Champions League thanks to their run. And we know this about Arsenal. They're a solid team, defensively sturdy. I think two issues that stand out is one, we've seen during this week especially, a lot of these refs aren't going to let these corner plays that usually run in the Prem go. Right?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of whistles blown for corners this week, which might be a little bit tougher for them. But two is they low-key have the same issues that they had last season, right? They're still calling out for a maverick, for somebody
Yeah.
that can impact the game. Like it's I don't want to say they haven't made any forward progress because in the Prem at least they are still looking like the favorites, right? It is still in their hands, but it is a bit worrying that season upon season they're still asking the same questions and still in
I
need of the
agree.
same things.
100%. And like I even think last year if Salah wasn't on his like is it wasn't just absolutely playing the best football I've seen from him, Arsenal probably would have been in the same position they were in right now in last season.
Agreed.
And like they made these signings and people said they had perfect summer windows and it's like I never thought that. Even with Eze, I never thought that.
Yo, Gyökeres' replacement at Sporting, that Suarez guy has like 30 goals, dude. Like
Bro, put me in the Portuguese league. I'll
I'm
bang
saying
30.
you'd bang like 50 in
Yeah,
Sporting, dude.
I know, but no, that's definitely a concern. I mean, Eze this game, I don't know, man. Didn't really do much. Yeah, so
It's looking. How old is he? He's not young. He's
no,
like
he's
27 or
yeah, yeah. Let me see. Um, he's 27, yeah, but it's just like I swear they're in the same place they were in last year. And people are telling me, um, not people are telling me, but like online people are like, you might not have to like Arsenal, like Thierry Henry said. You don't have to like them, but you have to respect them. No, I do not. Why should I respect this team? Because you're number one in the Premier League? Dude, the Premier League is meaty. It is meaty this year. City haven't put on one 90-minute good performance, I don't think, and they're second place in a title race. We'll get into all of that later, but we don't have to respect this team, bro. They do not deserve our respect.
Yeah, I think at the point when if they do go on to win the trophy, it's like you give them winners respect, right? Because in
Yes.
5, 10 years, people won't look back and be like, corner team. But at the same time, we are watching the sport for entertainment, right? So we are allowed to feel a certain type of way. And I agree with you. It's not riveting football to
Yeah.
watch, but I guess the ends justify the means, right? So if they
Yeah.
win, but
We'll all
you do got to give them the chances of going through, taking this
no,
back to the Emirates. So
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. Okay. But now moving on to Man City versus Madrid. Yeah, there it is. You can start this off because I'm too sad to.
I gotta say, when I first looked up the lineups that were put out for this game, I saw the City lineup and I was a little bit skeptical. Like what was Pep trying to do? I think we've seen this like Pep overthinking trait in a lot, and maybe not a lot, but a bunch of these big games, right? But seeing Savinho start, seeing Nico O'Reilly push back to left back when he's been playing great in midfield for the last few months. A couple questionable choices, but looking at the Madrid lineup, I didn't really have much faith at all. Academy boy out on the left, I don't remember his name exactly, Thiago something. You look at the rest of the lineup, I just wasn't feeling too inspired beforehand, but after the first 10, 15 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes, City were putting the pressure on. They just weren't able to convert. After that, I think nearly every time Madrid were going forward, you kind of felt like there was a good chance they were going to score, and really more often than not, they ended up scoring. Well,
Really?
Valverde ended up scoring, really.
And before we like go into any more, what a player this guy is. I mean, people have completely like forgotten about how good he is this season, and most of that is due to Madrid's sloppy form, but this guy is a one of a kind player. He is just an absolute winner. He bosses every area of the pitch he plays in. He doesn't drop below an 8 out of 10, and like this season people have said he's put on some bad performances, but it's you know what type of player Valverde is, and you have to understand that that's more of an indictment about Madrid than himself as a player, because he's skillful, he's smart, he's an absolute warrior and will die for Madrid. I don't think there's a player on your team who likes Madrid more than Valverde. He will die for this patch. And on top of that, he's just like, he has the ability and confidence to convert these traits into success. So, in hat trick against Man City, that's not something that happens every day. So
For
you
real.
applaud him for
And
it.
I mean, even on top of the three goals, I think it was just a masterclass performance from him, right? Which sometimes players score hat tricks, obviously man of the match if you score a hat trick, but to add a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 performance on top of that is just next level. I think something that kind of goes against him in a weird way because, Madrid have been very turbulent this season. Last season, he's had to fill in a bunch of positions, slotting in a right back, right wing back, midfielder. People kind of forget, because of all that, how good of a player he really is. But
Oh,
he really just showed it, and it's more than just PMP. He has tech. You saw how he, rocked Gayhe's world with
yeah,
that third goal. Like this
yeah,
guy knows how to play, dude.
yeah. He's unreal. Um, Going into the game, I mean, what you said about the lineup, I'll talk about it for hours. I'm so mad about this lineup and the way Pep implemented us. I mean, obviously Doku was like the man we wanted to attack and like bring a lot of opportunities, but that's pretty much like I feel like he said just pass the Doku every time and have him take on the man. They double teamed him, triple teamed him. Like the wings are not, Savinho's not going to get you much, honestly. I
Oh
understand.
my god.
I think he's a skillful player, but what a weird implementation of him in such an important game. I mean, it was weird. Like, I don't even think Madrid were like, it wasn't that they were like an amazing team compared, like, it was just a game of every time you went, you countered attacked, you had the quality to score. And City, I mean, we're so easy to get at. So I think that, like, I'm looking at Pep here, and at the beginning of the game, we were together, and I told you like I'm nervous. Madrid, City, things get different. This is Champions League, and you were like, that's all gone away. Like this notion that Madrid will just win on Champions League nights, that's gone away. I'm like, I don't understand what City has done to deserve higher praise than that. It's almost like Arsenal and Madrid last year when we all gave Madrid that praise, and it's just like we haven't. We're second in the Prem. Like seriously, watch how we play. It's absolutely it's not good enough. And even the game in the group stage at the Bernabeu where we won 2-1, people were like, it's a professional performance. I was scared the whole time. You guys were running rampant on us. We did nothing. So, and that's what I have to say about that. But I'll go into Pep later. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to take a look at a couple individual players here. First of all, Semenyo and Gehi, two players bought within the Prem from lower table clubs, right? Bournemouth and Crystal Palace, and I think rightly so. We have been praising them for how they've been playing. Semenyo, even if he hasn't been giving you 10 out of 10 performances week in, week out, he shows that he knows how to score, knows how to impact the game,
Definitely.
right? And Gay, really in the
Yeah.
league, has been very solid. He's looked like a great addition, but
Very
this
good.
did look just like a step above their level.
Yeah.
Champions League nights, they've never seen anything like this. I think
No.
Semenyo, he had a couple positive actions, right? But nothing too threatening, nothing too promising to lead to goal. Gay, I mean, I think he was a little bit shook, right? I don't want to say out of his depth, but he looked a little bit out of his depth,
I
right?
know.
Like
I mean,
it
we're,
was a
we're
lot.
talking about a Crystal Palace player who, what their only trophy was what was it? The
FA Cup last year.
last season. And we're talking about a Bournemouth player who, like, you put these guys right into the most one of the most vicious stadiums in Europe. Like that's pretty amateurish. You should know better. Bernardo Silva, I don't know, man. Like weeks, everybody's like, he's so good. He's doing a remontada of his career. I see him running around a lot. It's a lot of nothing. I understand he does good, but in this game, next to Rodri, you need somebody who can defend. this guy, it wasn't enough. And then last thing I want to mention about the lineup and players, Kusanov on the right back. The way Pep had our players play is that, you wanted Nico O'Reilly on the left to help Doku, help him out on the left wing, play with him up there, move up, go up, all this stuff, and cut into the middle a little bit, also invert a little bit, and then be able to recover. Kusanov cannot play in the opposing attacking third. He is not an attacker. He is a center back. That is misprofiling. And this is where, I really start questioning Pep. Savinho starting him, that was just strange. But playing Kusanov at right back is fully misprofiling the player. He can only play center back. He cannot play right back unless it's like a rigid four in the back and we're not moving up and down. We're just defending. So I think you mentioned how Pep has this kind of gene of the overthinking it, and we've seen it in the Champions League final against Chelsea all those years back. But this almost feels a little different. This seems a little bit ignorant, and a little bit it almost feels like there was some randomness and confusion and stupidity in it. And it honestly it makes me question this whole season. I haven't seen one good 90-minute performance. Nothing has made me left the game and I'm wow, City are on the way back. I get it, we're playing a little bit better than last season, but it's nowhere near where we should be. And I think we have world-class players, and I mean, you're making Haaland look like a literal statue.
Hey man, we're good. There's a couple more players we got to talk about. What are your thoughts on Haaland during this game, right? Because we know what Haaland is. He's not this all-action striker, get involved with the play, right? He's a finishing man, but honestly, I'm a big fan of Haaland. I think a lot of the criticism that he gets is unwarranted or unfair, but you look at these big games where you want your big players to make an impact, and you can argue that, there's not enough chances being created for him, but being that much of a non-factor the
No, I
whole
know.
90 minutes is kind of crazy.
And I hate bringing up personality and confidence and traits about their character, but you can definitely tell through the past couple months since the turn of the year, since 2026, Haaland has not been the same player. He's definitely losing confidence. You can tell it in the way he walks, in the way he's missing every chance. Something's going on. And I think that's very evident and very problematic for a player like him whose game, especially all strikers, I mean, your game is very dependent on your confidence levels and all of this. So, I mean, that's definitely part of it. He's not in good form. Along with this, I want to say, Pep the system he's playing is not doing him any favors. I mean, whatever he put out on the field, whatever system he implemented where he wanted wing play, and it leaves Haaland absolutely with nothing to do, honestly. And we know it's been like that since Haaland has came into the team. He somehow was able to do it in 2023 because De Bruyne was feeding him, passes on a plate and was able to pick him out. But you don't have that right now. And this is why, honestly, I want Pep out. This team is moving in a direction that I don't think Pep is the right manager to coach. And moreover, I mean, he's been at this team for so long. It's time. Sometimes you need a different voice in the dressing room. I see two players who are world class, Cherky and Haaland. And these guys, I don't think Pep is the type of manager to be able to get the best out of these guys. And I need a manager who is going to be able to do that. Because if you maximize those two players' abilities, you're talking about, another special group of players, in a team. And I think it's just time to move on.
Yeah, but at the same time, I do think, we watched that Newcastle game, right? And Holland was getting praise in that game and kind of throughout this whole season, for improving his all around play, right? Newcastle, I'm pretty sure he didn't score, didn't assist, but he was getting lauded for his hold up play, kind of dropping in and spraying it.
Yeah.
I didn't even see him try to do any of that. We know Rudiger kind of has him on a leash whenever they meet, but
Yeah.
for somebody so big, so strong, I just want to see him try something else,
It
even if
is.
you're not getting the service, try to impose yourself in some way.
Yeah.
Another player I think we do need to talk about is Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, he didn't have the best of games, honestly. And he has been shaky since 2024, I'd say.
Dude, I hate Ruben Diaz, bro. I think he's had like I'm not gonna say he had one good season, right? Like he won Player of the Year when he first came. He has had a couple good seasons, but like this season, don't think he's been good. Last season wasn't really good. I mean, I just don't. For somebody who when he came into the league, he was so powerful, so strong, was kind of the rock in that tiki taka Man City team that they needed for structure and strength and stability in the back. He hasn't shown any of that recently, right? I think it's just been poor from him. I don't know
Yeah.
what.
No, I know. I agree. I mean, Ruben Diaz was never the type of player to, beat his attacker with like using his brain and finding the perfect angles. Like he's the type who like makes the slide tackle to save the game. And it just seems like without some of that, as you get older, it's harder to like just jump in front of a ball. You see Gabriel doing that a lot right today, like just making these crazy saves. And Ruben Diaz isn't doing that with that much frequency, and you start to like his shortcomings start to become more evident. And I agree. I mean, he has not been the same since that 1 year, and he's definitely depreciated in value a lot. And I do think like the other day, Guardiola took out Ruben Diaz. I think it was the Newcastle. No, it was the game before Newcastle. I don't remember, but he took out Ruben Diaz for Kusanov, and it wasn't for injury at halftime or something. He took him out, and they ended up making like doing leaps and wonders. So I mean, we have an abundance of center backs. I think Kusanov is great. You have the boy playing at Girona. What's his name? I can't believe I'm blanking on his name, but he's really good too. You're starting to get some good center backs, and Stones, man, it's time.
Yeah, it's time, dude. It's been
Spoon Ruben
time,
Diaz.
Loki. I think Donnarumma as well this game.
He let us down, unfortunately. He's usually good.
Dude, it was kind of like you last season, I mean, I would venture to say probably best goalie in the world. You saw
Yeah,
some of these wonder saves
yeah,
he was
especially in the
pulling
Champions
out
League.
for sure. And we all know he's not the guy like Ederson. Ederson is upper echelon, but he's not even like a good really ball playing goalie. So
Yeah,
you're looking at him to make these saves. I mean, I look at the first goal. I saw him lift his arm up to let the ball go under, uh,
strange.
giving away the penalty. Which okay. To talk about that, I, when Vinny grabbed the ball for the penalty, I was already shaky. I think we know he's not a great penalty taker, right? I mean, I think maybe it's easier to say with hindsight, but I think if you give that to Valverde, 100% that's in the back of the net. And I think at 4-0, that's tie over.
Yeah,
I mean, I still think Madrid will go through, but at 3-0, there's like you left the door just cracked, just a tiny bit when you had the chance handed to you on a platter, really, to just slam it in their face. So that was a little disappointing.
yeah.
Um,
You're gonna have a problem. I'm very confident Madrid are gonna go through,
Tiani Reinders.
bro. When Pep puts this guy has had a horrid season. He is showing how much he lacks in honestly intelligence.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. He has been very, very poor for City this
Yo,
season.
Pep might as well have subbed himself on, dude. I mean, I feel
No,
like
that's ridiculous.
he did
That's all. That's
nothing.
laughable. Before Cherky, if you remember in the tie or in the match in the group stage at the Bernabeu, he's the one who put his foot on the ball and calmed everything down. How much could we have used him from the minute one?
I was really surprised to see that he wasn't starting.
Pep, man, Pep always is just. This is what I'm saying. I mean, at this point, like what back in the day, you used to keep like Jesus out for a game or Sterling out for a certain game. You do things like this. But now you're not putting in Cherky, and Cherky is, in my opinion, I think in a lot of people's opinion, at a different level of talent than a lot of those guys. You're denying something that is a must. So
Especially because, I mean, when Pep used to leave out the Sterlings and the Jesuses, I mean, they had Sane, right? They had Foden playing
yeah,
a false nine in his palm, right? There's nobody in Man City right now. They don't have the depth to bring on somebody that impacts the game the same way that Cherky does. So I think that was just a foolish omission on Pep's part.
yeah, I
I mean,
know.
It's not looking good for Man City.
No, it's not. And this could also I don't see how. If I'm the player on the in that locker room, I heard that it was mute after the game. Confidence has been obliterated. When you have Haaland with zero confidence, you're in trouble. I mean, you start to think like Foden, we know he's had confidence issues since that season where he won player of the Prem Player of the Year. We know he's had struggle with confidence issues. I mean, when are we going to start asking why is this happening and what is Pep not doing to not allow them to build up confidence? Seriously. I mean, is as a part of your role as manager, is your part not to bring the best out of your players and in doing so you make them the most confident they can be? I mean, Foden's like mental issues has been a pretty big indictment on that. Haaland right now, what is Pep saying to him? What is he not saying to him? I mean, these are things a manager has to do. And this is why I think you just need a new voice in the locker room. You just things like get whitewashed over time. I mean, it's been damn near a net decade.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, Haaland has 4 goals this year. If it wasn't for how he started the season, dude, Igor Thiago would be leading the race for Premier League Golden Boot, which is crazy to say. I think, yeah, Pep has got to fix up quickly. Um, I mean, it's just damning. Yo, Thibaut Courtois, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm
he's the
somebody,
best goalie in the world.
I've believed, like, my personal belief is that Neuer is the greatest goalie of all time, right? I'm a little bit younger. I wasn't able to see, Buffon or even Casillas. But I think Neuer, I mean, apart from even revolutionizing the position, if that's what you want to say, I've seen him pull out wonder save after wonder save. But in terms of just pure shot stopping, I mean, Courtois, I'm putting him second best of all time in my goalkeeper
He
list.
might be there with me too.
Dude, the saves that this guy pulls out. I mean, that Nico O'Reilly save, it's like, how many keepers on earth are making that save?
And that's just like the tip of the iceberg. He's had some absolutely world class saves, bro.
He's been
He's unreal.
he's been keeping Madrid like afloat this
Literally.
season,
And have you
right?
ever had a team where like a goalie keeps you afloat like that? He's keeping out like certified goals. He's keeping Madrid in games like that. It's insane.
It's just yeah. I mean, it's like it's a joy to watch, really. I mean,
Yeah, it
keepers
is.
don't really. I feel like I don't see many saves that get me up on my feet or anything, but like Thibaut Courtois, once every match or every other match, I'm applauding the guy, dude, because he's just nasty, man.
Yeah.
Keeping the ball out of the goalie's job. I mean, he's easily number one in the world right now, and
People
he's
say like
stamped, dude.
he could be Madrid's most valuable player. I
You could make an argument for that, dude. In this misfiring season, you could definitely make an argument for that.
he probably there's probably like if you watched every game and like saw every one of his saves, you could like probably make a stat that's like he saves one certified goal a game. And like he like playing with Thibaut Courtois, you have a handicap of one plus one goal. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean that guy.
Yeah. So Madrid heading to the Etihad. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's nothing to worry about. This team is City are devoid of confidence right now, and I think that's you're gonna see that. So we can move on to Chelsea PSG.
Yo, I went back and I watched this game last night.
Oh really? Okay, bet.
Yo, I mean, you look at the scoreline. Tottenham also lost 5-2, which I'm sure we'll touch on later, but very different 5-2s.
Completely different. Yeah.
I mean, you could argue really the scoreline wasn't really representative of how the game was played.
Absolutely not.
Chelsea were putting in a good shift.
Yeah. Very proud of them, honestly. And Rosinha is doing like he's pretty competent. He's doing a good job. He's not like the best manager in the world, but he's not doing a bad job. It's still I think Maresca would have been better, but that's in the past. I mean, you had them and PSG haven't been in the best of form. I mean, you're at this game is at PSG. Those fans are crazy. You have the stadium lifting them up and you went toe to toe with them for a good amount of this game.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Rosinha has been a lot better than I think most people thought he would ever be. But the goalkeeper situation, you can look at the goals that the keeper gave away and be like, that's the reason they lost, which, of course is a large part. But I think you do look a little bit at Rosinha for that, right? Like subbing out. I mean, Robert Sanchez this season, how many people have been saying most improved player in the Prem.
Very, very
Not
strange.
yeah, I mean, not like a top goalie in the world, but he's been very solid this season. I think trying to sub him out or switch him out with Jorgensen as he has been recently, it's a little bit suspect. And I mean, obviously, you can't say Sanchez wouldn't have made those mistakes, but you do think that it is highly unlikely that the same mistakes would occur. But I mean, this just shows PSG. I mean, they just don't care, dude. They don't care what you throw at them. They're gonna let their best players play, and more often than not, they're just gonna outscore you, dude.
Yeah. Barcola grabbed the first beautiful strike, and then Malo Gusto equalized, and I think it went to 2-2. But I want to say, oh, and then Dembele scored. But so if did Barcola start by design? Like, was it an injury to Guevara, or is he the choice left back or left wing in this game? You know?
I don't think it was by injury or anything. I think it was by design. And you saw him, and he put in a lot of positive work this
Yeah.
game, right? Grabbed his goal, a lot of positive actions. I think he's a top quality player. But
He's
it's
unreal.
really, I mean, it shows PSG's attacking depth, right? You're bringing on Kvaratskhelia as a second half sub to impact the game. I mean, he won the game for them basically single handedly.
I mean, I
Well,
think he's better than Barcola. I think Kvaratskhelia is the best left wing in the world. I'm not joking.
I mean, I would agree with you. I do think he's better than Barcola. A lot of people will point out his like lack of production, if you want to say, but dude, especially in a tournament like the Champions League where it's built on individual brilliance and moments. I mean, there's not many moments players that are bigger than him or
No,
players that are more individually brilliant, right?
that goal shows it all. To go up, what it was it? Was that to go 3-2 or 4-2?
That was he was
Or
4
two?
and 5, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah, that was 4-5. Yeah. What a guy. What a strike for that fourth goal. I mean, wow. Like cut in. That's his trade. Like he is that guy with that shot. And that's so nice to see. That's like a shot from the olden days, man. You don't see that anymore. But um I think what Barcola or well, I think Barcola should consider heading out, man. I mean,
I
he
think
needs
it's good
that needs to start.
it's a good depth on PSG's end to have both of them. I mean, I would love to see Barcola get a move, try to become like a big a big like leading figure at another club. I do think he has the talent, and a lot of people he's been criticized in the past was um lack of finishing, right? But he's
Yeah,
kind of been turning that up. So
definitely.
he's somebody that you do want to see flourish. I think this game showed, PSG aren't infallible, but it just doesn't matter, man. You
No.
see the way these right backs bomb. The only thing on their mind is attack, attack, attack. Right side, left side, striker, Dembele. I mean, we saw this last season where they were kicking into gear this same time of their season, and it's probably to a lesser level this year.
Yeah,
Especially without Donnarumma. Maybe
definitely.
not everything's gelling as well, but I mean, with the players they have, it will take something special to shut them out and go through in two legs against them. I think
No,
it's
yeah, definitely.
really hard. Cole Palmer,
I mean, I didn't think he was the worst.
yeah, but these are the games where I mean,
I mean,
Pedro Neto was more impactful than Cole
yeah,
Palmer
we were
today.
saying this is Palmer's first game in like a big Champions League knockout round, so that was nice to see. But need a little more from him. I mean, he's definitely. It's honestly sad. Every English player who we hyped up to this crazy standard is just like honestly like they're average. They're average. I
This
mean,
season, at least
this
for
season,
sure.
yeah,
And I kind of feel for him, like with his injuries and
definitely.
stuff. Pubalgia, is that what it is? Whatever Yamal had from cracking too much, but but yeah, I mean, I mean, it's a rough time for him. I think somebody that okay, personally, Enzo Fernandez, hate him. He's one of those players. It doesn't matter what he does, I'll forever hate him. But he grabbed his goal well. I just don't see Chelsea going back to the bridge and scoring at least three while also keeping PSG out. That seems like too tall of a task. So I think it's pretty safe to say PSG are going to go through the second leg. I mean, it's fairly promising from Chelsea. The thing is,
It's sad, dude. It's sad that like this was going to the bridge with a tied game. Like this literally could have gone either way. I'm not joking. At the bridge too, and you just throw it away like that. I mean, it was just a lapse of a lapse of effort, a lapse of concentration. It's sad to see that, but that's how maybe it was gonna happen regardless. So
Definitely. And I do think Chelsea, it's the same issues really that they've had for what, 4 years now?
yeah,
Starting from the top, this squad building, whatever they're trying to run over there, like we said, PSG bring on Kvaratskhelia, and you're bringing on Delap and Garnacho.
not
After
literally.
what, £2.5 billion spent, it's like you can start off as well as you want, but once you don't have those players like top five, top two, top 1% that can come on and change a game or start and impact the game from the beginning. I mean, how many players for Chelsea can we say are really like that? You got Reece James, worldy, Cole Palmer on his day, which he hasn't
Yeah,
had
Chad
in
had in a while.
bricks. I mean, Caicedo, who even
Yeah,
recently has been a little shaky, and
yeah.
that's about it, really.
Pedro Neto. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I
He'll be
think,
back.
yesterday he played well, right?
You
But
saw
like,
him kick the ball boy though, or whatever.
yeah,
He apologized. He came out and apologized. It
I mean, if you're
reminded me
a
of
ball
Hazard.
boy,
It reminded me of Hazard. I guess it's a Chelsea thing. Remember when Hazard kicked the ball boy?
yeah, yeah.
It's a Chelsea thing.
I mean, if you're a ball boy, like, I don't know, give
No,
the ball back. But
I agree.
it's just, I mean, it's,
Yeah,
it's kind of the same thing as Arsenal that we said. Like, they've had these same issues for years, and it doesn't look like anything is looking to change soon, right? Like, they still need new attackers. Their center backs, oh my God, you cannot pull up to the Parc des Princes with
no,
freaking what's his name, Trevor Chalobah and Fofana.
yeah,
Fofana, by the way, I remember, what was it, 4 years ago, freshman year, dude. Like, from coming from Leicester, most expensive defender or something, right? He had his knee injury. Obviously, feel for the guy. Nobody wants to see that. But ever since then, I mean, past one good season at Leicester, I've never really seen it, right? I don't think he's this like
yeah.
unicorn that people make
No,
him out
no,
to be. And who's your other option? Tosin?
yeah,
I
Tosin.
mean, like, you look at that, what, you need new wingers, you need new center backs, you need another midfielder, really. I
Ah,
mean, striker, even. I think João Pedro has been incredible, but as a backup, you definitely need a second option. You can't be bringing on Liam Delap,
um,
right? Like, how are they still basically nearly in the same spot as they were? You can argue that their overall level has improved, but not by a significant amount.
I agree. I agree. I mean, I would say they were better last season, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give that to Cole Palmer as well, but
Yeah.
it's
But yeah,
looking rough for them.
PSG will probably take this tie. Now that's a 3-0 deficit. So we'll be moving on to Barca Newcastle.
All right, I'll get us started here then. Um, I think kind of in contrast to what we were saying about Arsenal, this game did show that, I mean, the intensity of the Prem, if utilized well, can kind of put pressure on these ball playing teams, these teams that do want to be free flowing. Joe Linton absolutely bossing it in the midfield today, not giving Pedri really a second. Tonali was playing out of his skin, so you do see how the intensity and the aggression that the Premier League brings can be very impactful in these kinds of games, right? Um, but I mean, when your hopes, another game where really Newcastle could have been up like four, but
Hmm.
when you're pinning your hopes on Anthony Elanga, the
Yeah,
amount of times this guy against Barca's high line with his track star speed was getting into these promising positions and just kicking the ball to Jean Garcia or overhitting his crosses or not picking out the right man. I mean, it. If I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be tearing my hair out at this. It was really just a huge wasted opportunity
I
from
know,
them.
definitely. And they were right there toe to toe with them.
Dude, by far, really, the better team in that game. I
Yeah,
think you look at Lewis Hall, who, for my money, has been the best left back in the Prem this season, locking up Yamal, dude. I did not see Yamal do anything this game,
right after
except for his
Yamal got
penalty.
so much praise. This like for the past couple weeks of him like going crazy, goals, unreal.
Dude, Lewis Hall just really showed him, I don't want to say showed him levels, but he showed him levels, dude. He
Yeah,
clamped him up. I was saying earlier, the midfield putting in a crazy
Right.
shift. It's just, I mean, that it's the final ball, really. And you
Literally.
look at their lineup, they were a little bit. One thing I am Woltemade. What are your thoughts on this? Eddie Howe kind of losing faith in him, restricting his minutes, kind of start trying to drop him into midfield.
That's
You see Osula starting as striker. I
it's
don't
not
know,
right.
man.
It's not right. And I'm not really familiar. I don't know how he's training, but like sometimes a player I feel like will train so poorly or very well, and it'll give a manager an impression. But then you put them on the pitch, and they're just completely different. And as a striker, you need to have some sort of way about yourself, some sort of confidence. And from Woltemada's, most of his games earlier, I saw that. I saw that in levels. And I mean, I think he's the player you want to be leading this line in a Champions League game against Barcelona. And anything else is not getting the job done at all. So, I mean, imagine they had Isak up here. Imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say that Woltemada's levels have dropped lately, but
Yeah,
I do
they've
think
dropped.
that's also when you do look a little bit at Eddie Howe. Kind of coming back to what a lot of people have been saying this season and last season, has he overstayed his welcome? Is it time for a managerial change? I'm, I mean, depending on who you find, I could definitely be in support of that. You can kind of see it getting stale, this yo-yoing between, getting Champions League and then competing in two competitions and then dropping down and then getting
Yeah.
Champions League back and forth. But I mean, really just unlucky from Newcastle.
No, yeah.
Rafinha, this is last season when people were throwing a fit about Rafinha not winning the Ballon d'Or or even Yamal being ranked higher than him. I disagreed with all of that, dude. Like Rafinha is, to me, he's almost like Salah, right? Where we can agree they're not like on the eye, the most pleasing, the most aesthetic, whatever you want to call it, but he impacts games with his goals and his production, right? I mean, even last season you saw that. He would cover up a lot of stinkers last season with these goals and with these assists that he would feed into Yamal and Lewandowski. But a lot of the goals he scored off the back of other creators.
Yeah.
We saw Yamal last season creating a lot for him. And this year, with his GA drying up, I feel like you kind of see that. I mean, this game, he was, I mean, as bad as Yamal. Neither of them did anything,
Yeah,
right? From either wing, you saw no production. But
I
I
agree.
mean, at least Yamal, you know what player he is. You
I
saw
know.
him against Atletico.
And I definitely think like looking at last year and this year, I don't know exactly like if I want to say like their attack has definitely dried up a little bit, but it seems like a lot of these supporting characters who were so influential, I felt like last season aren't doing it. Kunde having a mid-season in my opinion. Balde,
Yo, playing Ronald Araujo at right back though
oh my God. We'll
is
talk about that guy.
horrific.
We'll talk about that guy. Balde as well, like he's not doing as well. And you've had a drop off in form from kind of like these players who were supplying the ammo and making holding certain positions, which opened things up for the main men up top. And now that that's kind of being gone, you know what type of threat Rafinha is going to be from like a certain shot or a certain place or all this stuff. It's become maybe a little more predictable, and that leads to this drop in GA and drop in form. But I mean, along with it, you have to think about Barcelona play a very, very, very specific type of football that's like different than any other team in Europe. I mean, their high line is absolutely ridiculous. We've seen them live and die by it. Most recently, they lost to Atleti in the domestic tournament, and they're at the same time they're capable of beating teams by large margins. But it was interesting to see them go up against a Prem side, and I know we saw Rashford bang that goal in, and um, we saw like Barca beat them and Pedri run their midfield, but this is not the group stage. This is different. And when it's all on the line and it's at St. James Park, I mean, we saw them game plan against these players. Yamal came out and said, I don't know how they do this in England, how Bruno creates chances. That's a pretty like damning statement. Like they were on him. He had no ideas of what to do. So
Yo, he didn't do anything.
yeah, so it's pretty insane. I mean, yeah,
I think saying all that, the fact that they did tie a clear penalty as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
is really damning for Newcastle.
No, sad.
So you do got to give the advantage to Barca going back to Spain. But I mean, Barcelona really confused me. Like, I did have them honestly as one of my favorites to win this tournament, and sometimes I watch a game from them and I'm like, yo, this is the greatest team in the world. Who could ever beat them? But you watch another game and they're just food, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It is because of the way that Hansi Flick plays, but I think that type of inconsistency, I mean, if they went up against a better team than Newcastle, which there are in this tournament,
yeah.
I mean, they would have been basically done with this tie
I know.
already,
I agree.
right?
And Barcelona haven't been like an amazing team even by many standards. I mean, they lost to Atleti, they lost to Madrid. They've lost their fair share of games this season. And I will say that I think they are not as good as a team as they were last season. Defensively, they are absolute joke of what they were. Araujo, no, he's not it for me. He will never be it for me.
Everything has been going wrong for him. I think the one player in their defense that you do have to highlight, who has been getting slated a little bit just very recently for a short run of bad form, is Pau Kubarsi.
Yeah.
I mean, I've thought this guy has been class since he basically came into the team, right? And he has been maybe a little bit subpar recently, but this game, it was basically a one man defense. I mean, it was him versus Newcastle in the back.
And I think a lot of those defensive frailties are coming down to one man's absence. If you remember Inigo Martinez, he went to, I believe, Saudi maybe? I don't remember, but that was a weird exit from somebody who was so good. And I get he's old, he's like 34 now, but like
I think he had more to give.
100%, you needed that guy. And especially with injuries, this Barca team is pretty thin. So, yeah.
I think they were also missing Frankie De Jong in this type of game in the midfield. I think
Oh, you
Pedri
want that guy.
he kind of tried his best. I don't think he had like a stinker, but far from his best game. But really, Barcelona's plan for progressing the ball was get it to Pedri
Yeah.
and try to have him do some magic, which against Joe Linton, breathing down his neck like a dog, and against Tonali, it was
Yeah, yeah.
fairly difficult for
And
him to do
alone.
that.
It almost seemed like he had no help sometimes there.
hmm
That's definitely tough to do against Newcastle. You can't go out there like that.
But, 1-1. You do got to. Newcastle, I think, spurred on a lot by being at St. James's Park with their home fans and everything, but it's looking a little bit rough. I don't think they're not making it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's confusing to predict. I mean, Barcelona, like you want to say Camp Nou, they're gonna be on their best play style at their home, but you don't know what you're gonna get from these guys. And like you get one lucky counterattack. I don't know, man. So we'll see. It should go to Barcelona though. But yeah,
I think you can't pin your hopes on
yeah,
Olenga and Osula really.
yeah, I'm good. All right, moving on. Here we have Galatasaray versus Liverpool. Wow. This was actually a pretty fun game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, very fun.
I'm not sure what Galatasaray Stadium is called, but their home, bro, they are absolutely ruthless. I was sitting down watching this game with AirPods in and I almost couldn't relax and like couldn't enjoy the game because every time Liverpool had the ball, you heard boos, whistles up to your neck, dude.
Yo, 90 minutes straight, dude. They didn't take a breath.
I don't know how they do it. Their throats have to be like sore for the next week after a game.
But
Nah, man.
yeah, I mean, I think you saw in the beginning, first 5-10 minutes, Liverpool could have been like low key 2-3
Yes.
up.
Yeah.
But after Galatasaray regained their composure,
Yeah.
I think they were like way the better team.
Agreed.
I
Agreed.
think for sure one major talking point, which he has been all season, you know who I'm gonna say.
He's washed. He's absolutely washed. He's absolutely nowhere near being one of the best players in the world. Not even that, being one of the best right wingers in the world. It's just strange. You cannot depreciate that much in skill in 1 year. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
I really think for a player who's a lot of his game really is based on his athletic ability and his speed, right? You saw how much he gave last season. It almost felt like the last dance, really. But
Yeah.
I agree with you. I don't think anybody expected this level of drop off from Salah. I mean, he's another one that's just a non-factor in these games, really. He's not a good outlet. He's not a good
No.
creator, not a goal threat, really, anymore. I
I
mean,
am seeing him like more wide than he was less. I think like when you hit this age, you gotta stop going so far out wide. Your legs are gone. You're not gonna be able to beat your man like that. You don't have the pace to take a touch and just absolutely fly by him. You need to be more central, like, and I feel like that's all he was almost playing a little bit more inside forward last season.
yeah,
So
I do think that is a little bit on Arne Slot as well, kind of the
yeah,
setup that he's putting him in. Like, this guy's not a touchline winger anymore at all. Another one, Florian Wirtz.
oh yeah, we
Yo,
talked a lot about this. Yeah,
this guy hits the ball like he's scared to hurt it or something.
yes, he does. He made so many like silly mistakes, and not even silly mistakes, but just like he did the wrong thing way too many times and it was almost laughable. And it just makes you think like, dude, were you this good? Were you even this good at Leverkusen? Are you this good of a player?
I mean,
It's
we
been
all saw him last season. Like I think like it was fairly common consensus. One of the best midfielders in the world last season. And people are going to say Bundesliga tax. People are going to say this. People are going to say that. People are going to bring up that he has had a decent run of form lately, which I don't even agree with. Right? He bagged against like
it's not good
Burnley.
enough to like bring up. It's not significant enough to like mention.
Not at all, dude. Not at all. Especially costing what, like 115,
It's a Premier League
£120 million.
transfer record, bro.
It's ridiculous. The way, I mean, I feel like it goes more than not impacting the games. I do feel like he's a net negative when he plays for Liverpool. I mean, it's all bad from him. It's all bad.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's damning. I mean, we looked at Liverpool this summer and the changes they made. It's Frimpong, Kirkez, and we're like, okay, holy wow, this team is set for the next 5 years. They have their right back, their left back, their midfield, and their striker. Yeah, Ekatike as well. And we're like, okay, out with the new like now they replenish Van Dijk and Konate and they like they're set for the next decade. But I'm looking like after this season we're like, wow, Liverpool need a huge overhaul because McAllister looks not up to it. Gravenberch looks not up to it. You have Szoboszlai, fair enough, insane player. I think he had an okay game, but I mean, do you are we sure Wirtz is gonna just find his form? It's been a year now almost, dude. Why is he just gonna? What proof does anybody have that he's gonna find his form? What proof does anyone have that Frimpong is gonna find his form? That Kirkaz is gonna? Kirkaz, dude. I don't even want to get into it right now, but it's honestly insane. It just doesn't make sense. And do you think this is down to? I mean, this is like the age old question this season, but is this down to coaching or what?
I do think Arne Slot has been horrific this season. Right? He's not setting these players up in a system that gives them like the best chance for success. Right? But at the same time, you do have to look at these players. Like you said, Gravenberch last season, people were lauding him as one of the best in the league, one of the most complete. Fell
Yeah,
off a cliff. McAllister looks absolutely unrecognizable, and he's somebody I like McAllister as a player,
me
right?
too. He
I
was a
think he's
great
like
player.
right, but this season has just been awful. I mean,
Awful.
Florian Wirtz, we already talked about him. You look at Konate this season, who in this game as well dropped another stinker in a long series of stinkers this season.
He's got to go. He's got to go.
I
He is
mean,
not to the level.
you can put a lot of this on Slot, but at the same time, you do have to look at these players and say you guys aren't really holding up your weight. I
Agreed.
mean, at all, really.
Agreed. And I mean, it's just again like starting Wirtz on the left wing, and like there's a big issue there. Like just start Rio and put Wirtz at the 10. I mean, it's not fun watching Liverpool. One of you mentioned that, Julian mentioned that last week, and I was like, oh, well, it's fun watching Ekatike. No, dude, it's not fun watching Liverpool. Ekatike
Yeah.
scores fun goals. They are really they're producing a very bad product of football, honestly, and it's pretty damning to all the money they've spent and everything. I mean, yeah,
What do you think about this? I think like most people would agree, Szoboszlai has been their best player this season, right? I saw this stat online that he's like had twice as many touches at this point in the season than he did all of last season, which shows how much more the ball is going through him, the play is going through him. Do you think that's kind of like an indictment on Liverpool, really, that he's been their best player? Like, if he's your best player type of thing, you're not going to go that far? Or is it just he's making the best of a bad situation?
Um, I mean, I think you have a little bit of both because we know this like situation. Like, who is Liverpool going to give the ball to? Salah will not be. He won't be able to do anything. He just has to get it. He'll look up, turn back, and pass it back. On the left wing, Gakpo similar, or where it's and your other midfielders. We know they have not been. They're not the same ball carrying, line splitting midfielders from last season for whatever reason. Gravenberch is not getting the ball, doing that his special turn and driving up to the opponent's like 16-yard box. So it has honestly like due to circumstances, it is all on Szoboszlai. He is the only one who is capable of doing that because Wirtz also is like a shell of a player we saw at Leverkusen. He is not able to pick his head up and like carry the ball. So I think Szoboszlai is making the best out of a bad situation by doing this, but at the same time, there's no other way. And okay, Szoboszlai, like we give him, he's an amazing player, but at the same time, like he is not. I know he scores free kicks, he scored a good share of goals, but it's kind of like Declan Rice. Like he is not a man who is going to bring you a moment of individual brilliance every single game. Who's going to win you games? I don't think so. I mean, he's not like a defensive midfielder in that, but he's not at that level like a left wing, right wing striker will do. So it's definitely kind of sad that like the player that you're relying on that much is somebody who is just not going to be able to do it. It's like relying on that's a bad example. I don't know. It's just he's not like Gundogan. Gundogan would do. He more oftentimes than not was able to bring you these moments of brilliance. I don't. Zoboszlai is not that level.
No, I do agree. I mean, I think he is making the best of a bad situation, and he is um, playing at a level above those around him. But I mean, I think really it comes down to just he needs support. I mean, he can't be that guy for every single game,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He just doesn't have that ability. And I think he's a wonderful player, but
yeah.
he needs, I mean, it can't be just him.
No.
You just need more.
And what number eight does literally everything? Like and like yes, you can go up, you can score goals, but like you can't be the whole offense. The like magic maker usually has to be an offensive player, unless you're Lampard, I guess. But
Yeah, but then you're comparing him to like these
no,
all-timers, which is
exactly.
just, I don't think it's fair to him, really.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. Some notable players for Galatasaray. What a game they played, by the way. Like absolute beasts. Ran Liverpool over. Osimhen, again, this guy
Oh
is
my God, dude. Without even scoring, he's,
unbelievable.
peep this,
Damn. Wow. That's tough.
right?
That's super cool. Where did you get that?
My dad got it from me from Turkey.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's the man.
But yeah, great game from him. Noah Lang on the wing.
Dude, how old is Noah Lang?
I mean,
He's actually he's so techy. He's so good.
but at the same time, like we saw him struggle at Napoli after his move from PSV.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, he played a great game. But that also you do also look at Liverpool at that. Like you can't make Noah Lang look like an all timer like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But
It's just
he
poor.
looks so good, dude. He's 26. He's actually pretty old. I mean, Frimpong, we know he's not like some all-time defense. Guez, actually, I want to mention like he is not a good player. He's not a good player. He doesn't have a good intelligent way of going about his play style. It's not good at all. So that is something that needs. I mean, even when Robertson came off, I feel like they got a little more out of him than with Kirkez. So we could talk about Liverpool's shortcomings all night, I feel, because it's really bad. But congrats to Galatasaray going to Liverpool. I
What do
mean,
you think? What do you think is gonna happen second leg?
I don't I could see it going either way. It depends honestly if Ekitike is able to bring up a moment of magic. That's who it depends on. Or
True,
Zobo.
and he did miss a pretty big chance
Yes,
of
he
this
did.
game.
He
He
did.
flubbed his lines,
Yeah.
so I mean, you do look at you give them Anfield grace or whatever, but I
I know.
mean they are just struggling, man. If Galatasaray are able to put on this same amount of pressure, right, and keep at them from the start, I know everybody knows they're a different team away from home, but
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think the possibility is there.
yeah, I agree. It's there more than any other time, any other game they've played away because they have a horrid away record. But
I
this,
do just think they just need to make sure to not start that game the way they did this game, because
agreed, agreed.
I do feel like Liverpool will be a lot less forgiving at Anfield,
Yes,
especially knowing they're a goal down. So
yeah,
that's just something to keep in mind. But
yeah.
I
Really
feel like they're
quickly.
in it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I want to ask you, so we know Liverpool's, their kind of ethos, their whole history, or I guess modern history, has not been buying players. It's more been like buying the most top level rated players, expensive players. They either come from, they're either Scousers or they get people who are okay and they just become unbelievable.
Yeah, like hidden gems. I do think this is something that was brought up this past summer, right? Like we know the whole time Klopp was there, his problems with the board, how they weren't backing him despite his success, and now like you see them what was it, 500 million this
Yeah.
past summer or whatever. I do think I mean it makes sense. You know, every team does it. You buy the best players, you become a better team, but at the same time, and I think also with hindsight, it is easier to say than in the moment because I feel like a lot of
No.
people agreed that they did kind of win the window, but I don't know. You look at it now, looking back, it's like maybe all that isn't exactly what you needed.
Yes.
I mean, it's easy for us to say now, but
No, I know, but like at the same time, like I was just thinking that it's like I look at it with context, and it's like Isak is injured and Wirtz is not playing well, and like you can almost forgive them, but it's like I just cannot accept that it's 2026, and you cannot forgive Liverpool for breaking the transfer record two times. You cannot forgive that, like just that fact alone. Even if they both get injured, bro, you can't forgive that. That's ridiculous, and you're playing like this. It,
yeah.
it it's so hard to forgive that. And I mean, it's just strange. Ekatike and Isak, one of them got to go. You need a new midfielder because Szoboszlai seems like the only competent one. You need a new right winger because Salah can't play. Just a lot of issues for Liverpool, honestly. And defensively, I think you need a whole revamp because Kirkez is not going to be that guy unless he goes through the Mateus Nunez project this summer. And I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even Frimpong at right back. I know Connor Bradley's injured, which is a big
Oh
blow
yeah,
because he was
he's
playing
pretty
well,
good.
but
Yeah.
I mean, you look at even
About
the
Trent,
center back, huh?
we didn't talk about Trent. He looked pretty good.
Yeah, Trent was pretty good.
He's been good as of late. But
Yeah,
sorry.
but you look at Liverpool center backs. I know they got that Giovanni something kid from
Yeah,
Italy
yeah,
that unfortunately got injured. They bought Jeremy Jacquet for next
Jeremy
season,
Jacquet's good.
but I mean that's two young center backs.
Yeah,
Van Dijk is aging out fast. This has not been a good season for him at all, really. Konate, I mean it's like trying to turn around an 18 wheeler in the form that he's in right now. It's he's
Joe
I mean
Gomez. Joe Gomez. That's who needs to be playing, bro. I felt bad watching him play.
Yeah, and I mean they're just I mean you got to feel bad for Galatasaray really. I feel like they could have been two,
Yeah.
3 goals
No.
up. So I mean I would say Liverpool have got to be leaving this game feeling lucky, feeling like I mean they for sure are still in it coming back to Anfield, like very fortunate on their part, but for sure gonna have to pattern up.
I agree. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. Could see it going either way, honestly. But I mean, last year Anfield only took them so far. We'll see. Moving on to one of our last ones. This is an absolute horror show. Horror show.
There's only one place to start in this game.
I mean, I feel so bad. So bad.
Yeah.
You can't like you can't do anything. I don't even want to criticize him. All you can do is feel bad because this is somebody who's dedicated their life to this sport, dedicated their like money, their time, their precious like relationships probably. You know how much they've sacrificed to be starting a round of 16 Champions League game against Atletico Madrid for Tottenham. And what do? You do that. You make those two mistakes. He will. I don't like. It's not even about like your football career. His football career is over. His life is over, bro.
This is like a curious moment for him.
Oh yeah, he will never sleep the same for the next 10 years. I guarantee you.
But I really think, I mean, yeah, you can fault him for his mistakes because he is the one that made him, but I do think the great villain in this story is Igor Tudor. I think it's absolutely ridiculous decision to start him in a game of this magnitude away from home as well. I think first of all that's ridiculous. Second of all, 15 minutes subbing him off. I think, yo, what was the point of starting the guy then? And not even acknowledging him as he comes off the pitch. I mean, it seems like from the very first game, he lost the dressing room, right?
Yeah.
Like he never really had it. Now it just seems worse than ever. You saw players, Solanke and a couple others, going down the tunnel to console Kinski right after he got subbed off, something his manager couldn't even do.
Yeah.
I understand Vicario has been, I mean, he's been horrific this season, right?
Yeah.
But throwing Kinski into a game like this and I mean, just leaving him to drown, really, that's just awful management in my eyes.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And I mean, we know like this Tottenham team, we can talk about their future later, but they as like players, they've had an issue. We saw it with Thomas Frank, how they don't listen to him, they don't look at him. Van de Ven, I remember that you remember that one clip of him like ignoring him or not. They were walking after the game. They didn't say hi to him. Him and Romero, they didn't say good game. So I mean,
I think a big issue with Tottenham is that, I mean, a lot of these players just think they're above this, and they're not realizing that they're the reason that they're there. You can blame Frank, you blame Tudor, obviously big parts to play in it, but yo, this Van de Ven guy, I he has never really convinced me, right? And I hear this talk about, $100 million move to Barcelona or all these top level clubs, and like, yo, why, dude? Because he can run fast.
they
It's
probably yeah,
nuts to me.
they probably all think like, we don't care, like whatever happens, we're gonna get this next big move. Romero, nobody wants you, bro. No, what big European team wants your Romero? Maybe Atleti. He seems like their type of guy, but like, I don't get it, bro.
I mean, are you gonna pay as a club? Are you gonna pay big money for the guys that got a big six English club relegated, dude?
Literally. And it's so sad. It's so sad that this has happened. This is the night they just got the nicest stadium in Europe, in the whole world, and it's gonna go to the championship, bro. It's honestly so sad. I mean,
I mean, it's all around. This whole season has just been a disaster. I mean, Van de Ven. I can't stop thinking about this guy
he scored
just
that one
because
goal.
he's supposed to be that guy for them, right? But he's not. I don't think he ever really has been. I mean, you can make like a slip and slide compilation for goals scored on his head, him getting turned inside out, pussy backward style. Like none of these players really. And I mean, you do look at the top. You look at the recruitment this summer. Conor Gallagher, most like highest paid player at the club.
It was his return
Palinia
match,
coming in.
bro. You see how hard he was running the whole game, bro.
I mean, it's more of the same from Tottenham.
It's so sad. 5-2 is just generous, honestly. I don't know how they snuck 2 goals in there, bro.
Definitely. I'm gonna read you Tottenham's next games, and I want you to stop me when you think a win is possible. All right. So Liverpool this weekend
Bro,
at Anfield.
hear me out. Hear me out. Like, dude, who's gonna win that game? Oh, at Anfield? Okay.
At Anfield.
I mean, you have to say Liverpool.
I don't think Tottenham have won at Anfield in like years, dude.
Yeah,
And then they play Atletico again.
yeah, that's wraps.
Done.
Even if they win the game.
They play Nottingham Forest after that, who are also fighting for points. I think they're a team that you look at them, they're going to look at Tottenham as a wounded animal. They're there to be got at.
You're gonna
If you
run.
beat Tottenham, you're saving your own skin. I think even if you compare the players one to one, you could easily make an argument that Nottingham Forest have better players.
I agree. I literally, well, okay, I don't know if I agree like exactly with the whole team, but I do think that I mean, Anderson's probably worth like a good 5 of Tottenham's players.
Dude,
Gibbs White, yeah.
literally.
Actually, you might be right. Honestly, Hudson
At
Odoi.
least like the upper level players, the players that you're looking at to impact a game, I think you
Honestly,
could definitely argue.
you might be right, bro. I changed my mind. You have Oli Aina, you have Igor Jesus up top, Gibbs White, Anderson, Hudson Odoi. Like, yeah, that could do it. That could
After that, They go to Stadium of Light against Sunderland,
You will not win that game.
and then Brighton.
That's their only chance.
They play Brighton and Wolves back to back. And then Villa, Leeds, and Chelsea. I mean, that's a
Those
rough.
last,
That's a rough way to end the season, man.
dude, it's. We'll have to talk about this when like it actually becomes more plausible, but I don't even know what the reception is going to be if they get relegated. You can't like everybody's making jokes. You can't wrap your mind around that.
And it's got to be the biggest thing in English football. Like to me, that's comparable to Leicester winning the league.
Yeah, dude. It's like evolution. We talk about how evolution happens like over hundreds of millions of years, you know? Like we went from the apes to modern Homo sapiens. It's like and when you look back in the history books, you see like teams you've never heard of, like Blacksburg win the Champions League or something, you know? So it's like, who is that? It's like, oh, they faded out. It's like, could this be like evolution? Like, if Tottenham go down, dude, they will not come back up for at least a year, 2 years.
Dude, yeah, I mean, every single championship team that goes to that stadium is going to be treating it like the World Cup final.
Yeah, bro. They're already making chants. I heard it in a
Oh, I
chant.
saw that. I saw that.
They're making chants already.
It's so scary.
Jesus, bro. Yeah, I mean that's insane. But you got to feel bad for them. On an Atleti note, do you think they could do anything this Champions League?
I mean, it looks like they're, like we said, hitting gear at the right time. With the
Yeah,
addition of Lookman as well, their attack is a lot more solid, a lot more angles that they can hit you from. Assuming that they go through Tottenham second leg,
yeah,
they're going to be up against most likely Barcelona, right? Who, I mean, in these last 2 weeks, we've seen them cream them and get creamed. So I really think it could go either way, depending on how either team play. Probably a couple of weeks ago, I wouldn't have given them as big of a chance, but I really think now, especially depending on the form that both of them carry into those quarterfinal matches, I really think you could call it either way.
yeah. I agree. I mean, they do seem to be doing a little bit better. Griezmann getting catching up with some form.
Yo,
Alvarez,
he's linked to MLS like a couple of weeks ago, and
I
he's like
know.
rolling back the years.
Yeah, yeah. He always does this, dude. I love him. Um, Alvarez, his future seems a little bit unpredictable. A reporter asked him, and he broke his silence, and he said, "I could be here next season. I could also not be here next season." I think
Really?
yeah, he said that when one foot's out the door, I think he wants to leave. He knows there's nothing for him here, and
I think a lot of teams could also use him.
yeah, dude, 100%. I'm really happy he went to Atleti. They seem to always like have this striker. They always have a distinguished striker, and he's completed football. This guy Alvarez, he's won everything. Treble, he's won the World Cup. He's won everything there is to be won. So I think a season, 2 seasons at Atleti will, that's good for him. That's good character building. Like that, that's awesome. Time to go somewhere else. I think if Arsenal get their hands on this guy, that's a step in the right direction for them.
For sure.
Yeah. We can maybe discuss for a second Bodo Glimt. I didn't include a slide, but they look good.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I didn't watch that
Oh,
game,
me
but
neither.
looking back at the highlights, the football that I'm seeing them play, like liquid football, dude, looks nasty.
I want to ask you though. So we know there are two things about them. They are playing. They're not in season right now, so
Hmm.
it's like off season for them. But they're in the Champions League, and also they don't play on regular fields. They play on turf at home.
Yeah.
Do you? I kind of think that's a little unfair. Those two things. Like, how can you play against other teams when shouldn't there be like the same field is mandatory for every single side? So things are like regulated. I don't know.
I mean, you say that, but at the same time, it's not like there's a standard football pitch size, right? Like some fields are bigger than others, some fields are wider. St. James Park notoriously like on a slope, right? Maybe those are all different from AstroTurf, and I'm not sure the exact reason why that is. Maybe it's like climate or
Yeah.
something or money, but I mean they're in here and that's what they got, so you kind of just got to play it. I think if you're a big team, like if Inter Milan blamed their loss on the AstroTurf, you'd laugh them out of the park, dude. It really shouldn't matter at this level.
I mean, Bodo's killed everybody. They beat literally everybody. They murdered City, dude. I watched them absolutely school us.
Yeah, I mean, it's very exciting to see. Hopefully, it
Barca,
looks like they are going to make it through. Let's
yeah.
see if they meet Arsenal in the quarterfinals,
You know,
what happens
they
then.
meet Arsenal.
I don't want to get like too excited or anything, but I'm going to get like a little excited, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
they,
Arsenal
to
still have to
to
make
dare is to do, right?
Arsenal still have to make it. Don't think they're through yet, man. Nah,
Yeah,
but
true.
so I guess the last thing before we wrap this up. We got a long video here, but I want to ask people the rhetoric these past 2 days have been Prem is washed. Things are scary for the English football because not a single English football team has won their first leg.
Fair.
And well, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that statement?
All right. I think one thing that I kept on thinking about during this conversation is, that thing that goes around every international break about like the 2004 English team, and it's like, how did they not win anything?
Yeah.
And it's like Rooney, Gerrard, Scholes, Ashley Young, whatever. And you look at that, that's a great team, right? Obviously, full of all timers. But at the same time, you look at other national teams, they had better all timers, right? So you look at things like that, you look at things like all time Prem 11 versus like Serie A 11, for example, right? And you could say like Serie A wash, maybe you could even make two teams that wash the all time Prem 11. So I think at the upper level, it has kind of been like this. I don't think it's too much of a new development, right? But I think when you go down the table, right? Like if you look at like Parma versus Bournemouth, you gotta say Parma are getting smoked. The way I see it is like the average Prem team is by far better than the average team in any other league. But once you get to that top 1%, it is dominated by the likes of PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. I think they just have that little bit extra footballing talent on their teams compared to the top Premier League teams. I think it's kind of just that simple.
Yeah, I mean that's what people seem to be saying, and I hear it. I definitely hear it. It's definitely something to think about. I mean,
I mean, like, look at the difference between Dortmund and Bayern. That's like 1 and 2 in Germany. We saw Atlanta do a comeback victory. Dortmund collapsed to get through, and then they get smacked up 6-1 by Bayern.
yeah,
So it's
no,
like those top teams, I think those are the best teams in the world. But once you look at the leagues as a whole, so when people say like Prem washed or whatever,
this is what I have to say. I mean, first of all, on like a league point of view, isn't that why we love the Prem? Because any game can be like, it's gonna be a dog match. It's gonna be a crazy game that we're gonna maybe not as of late, but it's gonna be a game where you're gonna be. It's gonna be fun. It's not gonna be Barcelona versus Osasuna. It's gonna be Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace, and it's going to be like 2-2, and nobody's know what's going to happen in the 80th minute. There's qualities. I get that the average team is better, and that's why people say Prem is the best league in the world because it's funded better first of all, which is definitely a fact, and because of that, bottom teams funds are more allocated to them. But this notion that like Prem teams are not as good as the 1% teams of other leagues, honestly, like I can't hear it. I do think okay, let's go through the best players in the world and see what teams they're on, because I think that player wise, yes, it is true. Lamine Yamal, Barcelona. You could put Mbappe somewhere up there, Real Madrid.
Kane.
I don't know, bro. No, okay, yes, Kane, yes, is okay. You have Haaland, okay. You have
I think the easier way to do it would be like look at the top English teams and tell me how many players from the top English teams are like top 10 in the
no,
world.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like Arsenal, I wouldn't put a single player in there.
Maybe the center back pairing.
Maybe center backs. Yes, you're right. You're right. Sorry, but I mean, like we know English teams in the past have had massive success with winning Champions Leagues and winning these games. I mean, Man U did they went to like two finals back to back or something. Man U won a treble. City won a treble. Liverpool have won so many Champions Leagues. Chelsea have won so many Champions Leagues. So I think like that that is a little bit of like a kind of reactive thing to say. Just because no Premier League team won a tie in this first leg isn't like we're talking about Newcastle. They played better than Barca.
Yeah,
Chelsea.
I do think people are using this like the results as a way to overblow it. I do agree. I think one thing that works against the Prem as well is just like the brand of football that's played. To a lot of football fans, they're gonna be like, "That's not what we want to see. You're not like better at the sport, right?" But it's just, I mean, I feel like so many things in football, it's like it is cyclical. Like it is gonna go back and
Yeah,
forth. In 5 years, you know, the round of 16 could be all English teams going through. So, I think making any type of blanket statement is a little bit unfair,
right.
especially so reactionarily. But I think you can see where people are coming from.
I know what you mean. And I feel like what we can say is that like the Premier League is not at an acceptable quality level right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely not. But like I would say that about the La Liga as well. I don't think Madrid have been horrid this season. Barcelona haven't been that good. Bundesliga are the only like Bayern are okay. PSG are like okay as well to this season. Like it's not
Bayern,
like
yo,
there's
Bayern have been like
no
people. A
Bayern.
lot of people.
Bayern have been the great team. Bayern,
Bayern are
yes,
large favorites. I think after seeing the Atalanta result and how
yeah,
they've
yeah.
been playing.
I agree. Sorry, Bayern are the best, but it's just like it definitely like makes you think about the state of the sport. And then what we were talking about earlier, how we were saying Premier League is played in a certain style where it's played in like this kind of attack style where you're gonna try to score off of these set pieces where you can like get an edge on the guy and physically outplay him. Whereas when you go up against PSG, Vitinha is not gonna physically outplay you. He's going to like run you out the park. You have Dembele on like shifting between the left and the right. Do it. So do you think that maybe the way the Premier League is played does not suit these open Champions League games where it's if you lose you're out and it's like a knockout elimination round?
I mean, I think what that comes back to a lot is like the fact that the Champions League is, like we said when talking about PSG, it is like a moments of brilliance type tournament. Like that is what carries you. And looking at a lot of these English teams, you can say that's like the main issue in English football now. That's what is lacking is Mavericks, right? It's a lot of like team play and just strength and grit and set piece. Not many dribblers or making a goal out of nothing or creating chances out of thin air. That's kind of where I see other teams getting the upper hand, especially in the Champions League. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
I think it's
I agree 100%.
difficult to come up with like a blanket statement for all this, but
And it's always been like that, right? I mean,
I mean,
definitely.
I would say probably so.
Yeah,
You look at the greatest players in football history,
yeah.
like how many of them played in the Premier League?
Oh, you're right. You're right. I agree with you. And like when we talk about we can look at when these English teams have won these things, and it's like when City won the Champions League, it was not because of an moment of individual brilliance. It was because Pep had these guys like playing the craziest new formations and like absolutely just like reinventing the game where the whole team was involved. Haaland did not score. Like it wasn't Haaland's individual brilliance. It wasn't De Bruyne's individual brilliance. It wasn't Gundogan's individual brilliance. It was Rodri got the goal. So it was more of like a team thing. Whereas when Real Madrid wins the Champions League, it's because Vinny is able to like get drive up the left wing and get that shot in or something. So it's two different ways. It's who's to say what's better. Who's to say? People will say what's more entertaining, but
Yeah, I mean, I think this is like a debate that you're never really
yeah,
gonna have a concrete answer to. Like, I think a lot of it is just opinions based, right? It just
yeah,
depends on how you feel about soccer, like how you view the sport. Like, it's a lot of preference in this.
yeah. I agree. Yeah, man. But well, I guess that's the first leg of Champions League round of 16s for all of you guys. We'll be back to get maybe this weekend's Prem games and the second leg. So thank you guys for watching. If anyone watched, and yeah. All right. Do the outro, Jude.
All right, guys, this has been Richie. Oh, whoa. This has been Richie and Jude. And this is Educational Football signing out.